What's good, YouTube? I just want to do this video real quick, touch on a few points as far as updates, and kind of do a quick little discussion video. The first thing I wanted to say is that I will be doing my top 10 movies of 2013 very soon. I've been wanting to do that for a while, but I just want to make sure I got all the movies in. And I wanted to give you guys a shoe video somewhere in between there, so that's why I'm putting this video out on a couple of topics I've been wanting to talk on for a while. But I think I'm going to my parents this weekend, so if I do, I'll be able to do the top 10 movie video, high def, should be good quality, hopefully entertaining. But moving on to this video, I want to let you guys know, well, there is a discussion video, a main discussion video involved here, but I want to do kind of a very minor discussion on the topic of the legalities of all these unauthorized shoes that you see, fakes, whatever you want to call them, the different levels, all that sort of stuff. If you guys didn't know, I'm actually an attorney, and I've had this idea of doing this video for probably more than a year now, and I've mentioned it in a few of my videos, and I just want to let you guys know it will come. I don't know when, but basically, the firm that I work for, I'm setting up a YouTube channel for them, and they want to do kind of short, well, not necessarily short, but like 10-minute videos on different legal topics, and we've discussed different things to talk about, and one of the things that I want to talk about is this topic, so it could be one of our first videos, and if it is, I will definitely make sure to detail it and where to watch it here. And the firm I work for, they actually have a trademark and copyright attorney who will probably come in. I don't know how the logistics of it yet, but this video will come at some point, hopefully within the next month. But I also kind of want to talk about the fact, in relation to that, the fact that there's a lot of people claiming that they know all these different laws and stuff. Well, I just want to say I am far from an expert in trademark or copyright, and I went to law school. I got the top grade in a couple different IP courses, intellectual property courses, and I went to China, studied intellectual property. I got it's not like a legal certificate or anything, but I got a certificate from my school in intellectual property, basically stating that I took a certain number of hours of intellectual property classes. Almost all my electives were devoted to this topic. So I know more probably than, well, for sure more than the average person walking by, and probably more than the average attorney, but I am, like I said, far from an expert, and if you want advice on this topic, you should go to an expert. But just some general things I want to point out are the fact that, first off, both copyright and trademark kind of get their base in federal law. Copyright specifically outlined in the Constitution in the Copyright Clause, and trademark was more indirectly in, I forget which amendment, but copyright is a little bit more straight, federal, a little bit more clear-cut when it comes to the rules. But trademark, which relates a little bit more, I'd say, to a lot of these issues you see with the whole fake, real, whatever. I don't want to get into the specifics, but the way the court system in the United States works is you've got a federal system and a state system. Two completely different systems. It's like a state is almost a little mini country in itself. And in the state and the federal, you have different levels. The lowest level the appellate level and the supreme level, in state and federal. And federal is split up into different circuits, jurisdictions, whatever you want to call it. And this is more prevalent for trademark, but it might even be true for copyright. But like I said, I'm not the person to be talking to about this. But yeah, so you can have different rules in different jurisdictions. So the test for trademark infringement in Illinois may not be the same as it is in New York. You have to actually look at the specifics of the case. Is it a state case? Is it a federal case? And copyright is only federal, but trademark, there's something called the Lanham Act, and there's different. Trademark is pretty complicated. And one of my professors told me this, and this is a good point, and one of the reasons I like it this area so much is trademark and copyright law, and probably even patents a little bit, is probably the one area of law where there's the most that can be argued and disputed as far as both sides saying things. There's a lot of different cases that have completely different results in different jurisdictions. So Illinois can rule one way, and New York can rule a completely different way on almost the exact same set of facts. So when someone's claiming they know the law, which a lot of people seem to be doing on YouTube, they honestly don't. Like, unless it's a lawyer who is an expert in that topic, I wouldn't trust it. And even if they're an expert, I personally would still question some of the things because it can be so disputed. But that was even one of the things we talked about when discussing having a YouTube channel for my firm and whatnot. Was we kind of had a preliminary discussion about this, and I've had this discussion with other attorneys, and no attorney says the same thing on this topic. So I think that'd be a good area to kind of discuss some of the differences and kind of go through this from step one to the end, basically, and kind of take you guys in an easily understandable, or put it in easily understood terms, and kind of talk about some of the issues that can surround copyright and trademarks as they relate to something like sneakers, because it's getting a little annoying seeing so many people claim to know what's going on when I would like to have a more definitive voice in this topic. But that wasn't even the discussion video I wanted to do, but that's kind of a little precursor, I guess, on my discussion, which is completely unrelated. But the discussion video I wanted, and like I said, hopefully that video will be up sometime in the next month or so, and I'll give you guys the info for it. But the discussion I wanted to have was on the raffle system and the ticketing system that is going on with places like House of Hoops, bots, all that sort of stuff. Now, I think for the online system, my only suggestion at this point would be to go straight random, like a randomizer. And my suggestion would be to ensure that the people buy the shoes, because at the end of the day, that's what Nike is looking for. You have everybody put in like a $10 deposit, and then that gets them in the lottery, and they select a certain number of people from the lottery, and whoever wins, they pay the full amount and they get the shoes. Do I see this working? No. I just can't wrap my head around how Nike would justify it from a monetary standpoint, because they want to ensure that the shoes sell out instantaneously. And the only way they can do that is having some link where you click and actually put in your credit card information, and it's a free-for-all. And when you set up something like a raffle, it almost kind of makes that aspect impossible. Now, they could do something where they have a raffle, and I'm just thinking of this right now. They could do something where they have a raffle or a randomizer, and if you're selected, you have a 10-minute window to buy your shoes, put in the credit card information, all that. And after the 10-minute window, they do the Twitter link. And I think this would be the fairest way possible. And now that I'm saying it, I'm not saying it's genius or anything, but I think that's a pretty damn good idea. So that would be my suggestion for that. Now, my suggestion for the in-store process would be, and I thought about this for a long time, because the only way, and may I remind you guys, J-Star and I had a discussion well over, probably around 2 years ago. We had a discussion on what Nike can do to put an end to the violence, put an end to the camping, etc. And I am almost willing to bet that we were the first people to suggest the raffle process. And within a month or two is when the raffle process started. I'm not saying that I sparked anything there, but there is something to be said about that. And at first I thought it was decent. But then I think J-Star even mentioned in this video you could still have some of the backdoor issues with that, and that's something that's clearly been realized by everybody now. So what I initially thought was you could have it live and just call the person's name. But then in the back of my head I started thinking about what's Nike, Foot Locker, what are they going to do about this? Because then you've got the privacy issues, you have the issue of someone could follow someone home, someone could get someone's personal information. So then I thought, well, then you could just call out the number on the ticket, and whatever the number is, that person gets the shoe. But then I started thinking about, well, then what if the person just calls a different number or only puts House of Hoop people in the drawing itself, and we never get to see who wins the shoe because of that issue. So then here was my suggestion, and it's going to sound a little far-fetched and a little ridiculous, but I've got nothing else at this point, so I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. My suggestion would be to have a bin at the front of the store, a see-through bin, and have it locked at top, and you write your number, name, and all that on your ticket, or I won't even write your name on the ticket. Or, yeah, you could write your name, however you want to do it. You could write your name so that they can identify you with the person receiving the ticket. That's fine. But make sure that only on one side that's visible is the number itself. So then what happens is, once the drawing happens, they do it live on like a webcast like this. They've got a camera set up right on the thing. They show them unlocking it, pulling it open, taking the ticket out, and then putting the number, the side with the number on the screen. And this would effectively eliminate any type of backdoor dealing. Now the only issue I would see would be House of Hoops members essentially stuffing the boxes with their tickets. Now, I think they'd be a lot less likely to risk doing that than just making all the stuff up in the back and doing the backdoor deals. Because if it's always on display, you probably have security cameras, etc. I think they'd be way, way, way more hesitant. So to me, that effectively eliminates every issue you could have. It's still private because you're only showing the number. The person that gets the number sees. It's live, so you know they're not messing around with anything. And the box is visible to the customers. And I say do the drawing during store hours, etc. And they can pick it up sometime within the next day. To me, I think that is the best solution, but that was all I could come up with after thinking about this for hours. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this discussion video. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I've just been lazy and kind of putting it off. But I will talk to you guys soon, and I will have that top 10 movies up as well soon. So, all right, take it easy. Peace.